What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of 27 and Q alongside that man right there, two-time Super Bowl champ from the New York Football Giants and a great running back, Brandon Jacobs, number 27. I'm Rich Quinones. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone had a good holiday, Christmas, everything, whatever you celebrated. Maybe Santa was good. You didn't get any coal under the tree, big man. Did you get some nice gifts or did you get some coal in the stockings?
Man, I got some pretty nice stuff, man. I didn't get what I wanted, but
Whoever does.
Nice. Well, shit, whoever I buy gifts for, shit, they get exactly what they want.
What may I ask what you were asking for?
I wanted one or two things. I wanted a Desert Eagle.
I knew. I mean, I thought maybe it was going to be like, a shirt, some cologne, and then I set myself up. So go ahead, a Desert Eagle.
And an AR-15. So now I'm left to go and buy my own shit so I can spend whatever I want to spend on it. I try to give someone else a chance to save some bread and get what they wanted for me, right? Along those guidelines, but it didn't work out. So I'm gonna go and buy me a nice big Desert Eagle, big ass Magnum, and I'm gonna go find me a AR-15.
AR-15s are legal in the States?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess they would have to be if we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, I can go right to the store and get an AR right now.
Do so you don't have, they don't do background checks?
No, I just got to travel to Alabama to be able to get mine because that's where my driver's license are.
I got you. Well, I'm sorry, Santa wasn't good to you.
Fucking Santa, man. I'm so done with Santa Claus, man. Like I'm so proud that my boys are older,
Yeah.
And then we don't have to go by that damn elf, that damn dumbass elf. We got to keep moving every night when they go to sleep, or keep talking about Santa Claus. Like, my youngest son is 12. So he's like shit more manly than he's like more mature than the older ones around here. So good that we don't have to hide that fact anymore about Christmas and Santa Claus. I'm like, yeah, man, I bust my ass and did everything I need to do to be able to get you these gifts. Ain't no big fucking fat ass white dude with a goddamn gray beard gonna come in and buy you no shit, man. That's all me, bro. It's all me.
Oh man, that's too funny. Now I hear you. No one's going down the Jacobs chimney anytime
no,
soon.
I'm
and
coming down the chimney.
If they are, you might pop them with the AR.
Yeah, I might pop their ass. You just come down the wrong chimney. They're gonna get a 9mm and an AK-47 instead of a Desert Eagle or AR-15.
They go right back up there fast as they can.
Chaz back up there.
Yeah,
shoot your ass as you go back
up. Oh man, too funny. A lot of football to get into. How about this? How about the Giants now? Win and in. Pretty much cut and dry. Go out, handle your business Sunday against the Colts. Did you watch the game against Minnesota?
I did. The Giants looked really good, I think, against Minnesota, being the fact that Minnesota is probably one of the top, if not the top team in the NFC. They look really good against them. Defense played phenomenal as they've been playing all year long. I think offense played pretty good, but I mean, who makes a field goal like that to win the game?
So
who makes that?
Well,
you got to give the guy credit. I give the Giants credit for playing one hell of a football game. Wasn't pretty still. They still hadn't put a pretty victory together yet, right?
Yeah.
They still haven't done it. But they're not getting their asses beat. They played Philly, got beat pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
They're still not going out getting their asses just terribly beat. They're in every game like they've been the last few years. They have a terrible record, but they were in every game to the end. And I think going out, and I think that can be one of the games, the Minnesota game, that kind of gives them more confidence. Like, listen, man, we can do this. This is one of the top teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
We got to be ready.
So you mentioned the long field goals. Look, you go back, Carolina beat them on a long field goal years ago. Jake Elliott and Philly beat them in a long field goal. The last decade, the Giants have been beaten last play of the game under 30-something odd seconds or at the gun 8 times with a field goal. So I guess 2 questions for you. And I don't know, maybe you can, were you ever out on punt protection?
Shit, yeah. First 2 years in the league.
Okay. That's why I was asking.
I was a right wing. I was a right wing, vertical set, punch and go.
So the punt that was blocked that to some extent changed the complexion of the game. The punter, it seems though he's taken like, a Tennessee afternoon, man, 4 hours just to drop the football.
Yeah, you can't get beat underneath though.
Oh, well, that's what I wanted to ask you.
You can't get beat underneath. You gotta send the opponent the furthest route to block the punt.
But why do you have two? But B, why do you have two DBs there, right? So like, is at the moment Julian Love picking up the stunt? Is it to help downfield coverage after the punt? Like that's
It's the blocking space, athletic ability to block in space, whether you go up underneath you or keep kicking up like a big. It's like essentially the right and left wing on punt team is just like the right and left tackle. Kick slide, punch, guy go underneath you, able to change direction, punch. They will never have a bigger guy there or a less athletic guy in that spot. It's the most important. It's one of the most important spots on the punt team. Okay, so after you vertical set, 3 steps and vertical set, punch, redirect out to your landmark. Now you can cover the kick. Now you have tackling ability. You have speed in open field. You can do those things. So that's why you use like the running back and the DB, like the safety type bodies. They got a little bit of size to them that's strong enough to protect and fast enough and athletic enough to get out and cover the kick as well.
Yeah. It's just, I just, when you see the play developing, you see it happen before, like as it's happening, as soon as he took forever to drop the Duke and then all of a sudden, and then the other play that, defensively, the Giants live and die by the blitz. They're a very blitz heavy team with Wink. And, you have a 3rd and 11, 19 seconds to go, and you give up the bubble screen to Jefferson. It's just, is that, again, you live and die, or is that should they have backed off a little bit? Or when you blitz like that, you're leaving yourself exposed.
There's no real way. There's no real way of covering the screen. You can come out with cover 2. While the outside linebacker out to split the difference in between the slot and the tackle, which will make it harder for the tackle to get out and block when he's not even a part of the, and widen your defensive end out a little bit and don't rush. But you don't know that they're running the screen. So it's kind of hard to defend against the screen. If we can get that stop on Justin Jefferson, you never know what a game could win.
Listen, Minnesota's a good team. I don't think they're a fraud. I joke with you, Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk, my guy, but I needed him to play poorly on Sunday. I want to get.
We was on his ass, Rich.
Yeah,
we was on his ass. Like we were pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sunday, the Colts are in shambles. They're going to throw Foles out there. I know he didn't play well, but again, this. When you're familiar with a quarterback and you played against him, it doesn't matter what stage of their career. You always have this paranoia, especially from a fan standpoint, because again, I've watched you guys many a time have a game where you sit back and you want to try to have an easy Sunday afternoon as a fan. And it turns out that it's a friggin' dogfight. My point is they cannot overlook. They're not good enough.
No, the Giants are nowhere near good enough to overlook Indianapolis.
But I'll tell you this. Saquon, and I've said it, and my friends get on me. They always remind me, you wrote him off. Yeah, I guess I need one more year with him coming off that injury. His numbers are pretty much right where they're at when he was a rookie, except his receiving yards, but yet he leads the team in receptions. And you saw Jones made some throws. He made some plays. They're toting out guys you never even heard of. So, look, man, to be in this spot, remember I told you I just wanted meaningful football before Halloween, and now you have a potential for a win and in if you're a Giant fan.
Well, let's go to Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of that one pick he threw against the Vikings, his numbers has been the best that they've ever been all season long. He was 30 for 42, 334 yards with 1-1. I think we can go out and put up. I think if we can go out and put up the same numbers, same type of production, which I think has only gotten higher throughout the season, I think the Giants will have a good opportunity. Now, Indianapolis is not going to be a pushover. They are a rolling ball of shit, if you may say. The Giants are a much better football outfit on offense and defense and special teams than the Indianapolis Colts. Coach better, everything, right? I will say this. If the Giants can go out there and put together the same game that they played last week, they're gonna beat the brakes off of the Colts, right? But if they go out there and play like they played against
Dallas, Philly,
the Lions,
good. That's a game that a lot of people thought they were
let's
going
say
to win.
they go out there and play the game, like they played against the Lions, then they'll get ran off the field and can't make the playoffs. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, the organization has been in this place long enough. You know, we've been like winning in.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, Washington got a chance, I think, to win in too.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be all 4 teams in conference. I mean, not conferences can make a playoff, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You know, but they got a lot of shit to happen before that can happen.
Yeah.
But I think the Giants can put together a good winner here against the Colts if they don't overlook them.
So hold on a second. You keep sipping on over there. Because I know it's not water because you've already sipped it like 4 times.
So what I'm drinking here,
yeah,
it's the Rossi's. It's like sparkling white grape juice
with
peach Ciroc. I'm gonna take that back. We're gonna go peach vodka because Ciroc ain't giving us a goddamn dime. You understand? So with peach vodka.
27 and Q brought to you by Ciroc. Make it happen.
Hey man, well, hey, Ciroc, if you guys are looking at this and you need a
spokesperson,
come on and talk some shit about your brand, I'm with it.
Yeah. He'll forget the cash. Just send him a couple.
Yeah. This is the type of shit right here that make me have good humanities.
It's good though. It's not. I mean, is it on par with the spicy margarita or?
No, you know what? The wife didn't. My wife made me a spicy margarita here, a couple of weeks ago. It was really, really good. Kind of, really to die for real. But I didn't want to put her through all of that tonight, to make my drink and stuff. I mean, I should have put her through it because she didn't get my damn guns I asked for. But
I mean, hey, happy wife, happy life. In your case, happy husband. So
you're right.
I want to get to a couple of the big stories this week. Your guy, our guy, Nathaniel Hackett, via Condios.
Hey, man.
I mean, listen, you know as well as anyone, you lose that game on Christmas Day, national window, 54 points you give up. You knew eventually, and Russell, he stinks. So you knew the coach had to go, right? Because you're not getting rid of a $240 million player. But you said this a month or so ago. It got a lot of clicks. It got a lot of buzz about teammates, just not wanting to play for Russell Wilson. You watch this debacle unfold, and he's played poorly. So I guess in a situation like this, he's not going anywhere right now. So how do you remedy this? Like, I
saw somewhere where they said Denver was putting a lemon lawsuit.
It is a buyer beware. It's buyer beware. And I said this the other day. I think this is buyer's remorse. See, follow me here. Hackett comes from Green Bay. He's got the relationship with Aaron Rodgers. So I guess logic would say Denver was putting all their eggs in one basket. We bring over this guy. We can learn Rodgers, fresh, change of scenery. Here you go. We'll implement the office. We'll build it around you. And then once Rodgers decided he's going to stay put in Green Bay, and they already hired this guy, they needed the plan B. And they were like, oh, shit, what do we do now? And they wound up giving up 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and three players. And they gave Russell Wilson a contract extension even before he took a snap under center for them.
The best move the Denver Broncos should have done was, okay, you so familiar with Aaron Rodgers, with Aaron Rodgers. Okay, he's going to go back to Green Bay. He's probably going to be in Green Bay another year or so. Why don't you make a trade for Jordan Love and bring him to Denver instead of Russell Wilson on a much cheaper price tag? and not giving up as much.
So then if Green, okay, that's, yeah.
That's what I would have done if I was John Elway in the Denver Broncos. That's what I would have done. I would have orchestrated that deal, versus and let Russell Wilson do whatever he wanted to do as far as either being on the chopping block or letting Seattle finish the deal with it or whatever it is. I would have, if I'm hacking, I'm definitely making a play for Jordan Love because I know what he got.
So, but what do you, I guess the only quarterback I can recall kind of falling off a cliff like this was Peyton, but 2015, they had that ready-made championship defense and they beat Carolina and he had the noodle arm, but
in MetLife.
What's that?
In MetLife.
Was that the game in MetLife or that was the Seattle game in MetLife?
No, Denver Broncos played the Carolina. No, Denver Broncos played the Carolina Panthers in MetLife.
Okay. So 2 years before that, he threw 55 touchdowns coming off surgery, 33, then had the noodle arm and couldn't really get the ball down the field. But he had injuries. Russell Wilson's 34. Like you watch him play now, he's skittish, he's erratic, he's looking at the rush, he's not looking down the field. You've had multiple times where teammates have exploded on the sidelines. Like, I don't know. Like, how do you fit? This is a major problem because if this blows up in their face, that sets a franchise up, sets them back for years.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say this, man. And like I said, man, I know plenty of guys, that have played with Russell Wilson. And I'm starting to hear the same thing with Kyler Murray as well. Guys just the vibe isn't there. The connection isn't there between them and their teammates. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not sure how the guy been so successful in Seattle with a bunch of guys, but again, how I think it was more guys putting their feelings in a personal beef aside for wins and contracts, contract negotiation. But it's a lot of guys, man. I mean, there's about 8 guys. I wish I could name them because it's 8 credible guys, 8 credible sources on the dislike of Russell Wilson as a teammate.
But let me interrupt you for 1 second because it just came to me. So sticking with what you just said, and this is going to sound very foolish and you're going to probably take another sip. When you dislike a teammate like that, does that make you play less for him?
Yeah. Makes me play less for him, but here's what I'm thinking though. Like for myself, I would never play less for a teammate that I didn't like that played on the same unit as I did, because even though I make that asshole better, at the same time, I'm lobbying for myself, right? The more games we win, the more productive I can be, the more money I can make when it comes time for my negotiation. So that's what I see, and that's what I get from it. I don't think guys aren't playing for Russell Wilson because he's an asshole or whatever the case may be. I just think that they need to do a whole revamp, a whole roster, just get rid of everybody and start over.
I mean,
I don't think guys are not playing for them.
Is it possible he's like a shot fighter though, and he's just 34? A lot of sacks, a lot of hits.
And he's running for it. Man, at the end of the day, though, Rich, man, just like we talk about with every other team out there that's dealing with quarterback crisis. I mean, he's running for his life. He gets at the back of his drop. Now, 9 times out of 10, the play is designed for the ball to be gone at the top of the drop. That's why you got 3-step, 5-step, and 7-step drop. When you get to those drops, the ball's supposed to be gone. Now, if your line is not hitting on a damn dirty penny, it's going to be hard to get to the back of that drop and be able to deliver the ball, especially if you're playing against any kind of decent DBs.
Yep.
I don't put everything on Russell Wilson. I can't do that as a player because I know there's a hell of a lot more going on out there on the field than just him dropping back, 3, 5, 7-step drop and trying to deliver the ball. There's a hell of a lot more going on than just that. I think Denver got a hell of a lot that they need to fix. I think they need a total rebuild. That was a shit show this year.
Yeah, and I go back to when we came on after the first game of the season, and I said, and you agreed 100%, that 4th and 5, you took the ball out of Russell Wilson's hand. You can set the tone for a season in a positive way, and you can set the tone for the season in a negative way. Dayball says in Tennessee on the road, let's go for 2 balls,
Yeah.
right? Balls of steel, right?
Hanging to the floor.
Exact. That's right. Hanging to the floor. You got to pick them up. Hackett decided no balls, not hanging from the floor, tucked them in, decided we're going to go for a 64-yard field goal, right? So I believe it kind of set the tone for the season. And after you lose a game like that, the head coach has to go. Then you got the news that comes down today that the Raiders are going to bench Derek Carr for the final 2 games. That
Yeah, I saw that. Like, is he playing that piss poor over there?
he's had a bunch of picks over the last several games, but their defense has been atrocious. He's never had a top 10 defensive unit that he's played with throughout the entire course of his career. He's the face of the franchise. He's going up there after horrible losses where they're blowing 10, 14, 17-point leads, and he's pouring his guts out. And you can appreciate this. At the end of the day, it's going to come to money because it's a 3-year, 121.5 million dollar contract extension. Okay. If they cut him, it's 5.625 million. It's a salary cap hit. They have to do it 3 days before the Super Bowl. If they don't, then his 32.9 million salary carries over for 2023. And then his $7.5 million salary carries over for 2024. Fully guaranteed if he doesn't get hurt. So basically, it's like we're at this point, we know we're going to cut you. I look at it as this guy has all the statistical franchise, records for the Raiders. He's been a warrior for you. He's been a good guy by all accounts, a team player. Why not just let it finish out the season? And instead, you're going to go to Jarrett Stidham, who's never started a game before.
I mean, they're out of the playoffs, so it doesn't really make sense who they put in there. Shit, I can go play quarterback for the Raiders. We're gonna get the same thing. Why not put the guy in and why not let him play? If Carr's playing, if Carr's over there, throwing the ball to Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, shit, why not put somebody else in? Shit, who knows?
I think it means he's done.
I don't think so. I mean, they drafted him in a 50. Shit, that's their franchise guy. I don't think he's done. I think they're gonna.
But then why not let him play? But not to interrupt you, why not let him just play out the string? Their defense has blown lead after lead after lead. I put up the numbers. You tell me if this is a quarterback's fault. If you go back in his career, top 10. Let me pull it up. Yeah, okay. Raiders points per game allowed since Derek Carr became quarterback. This is 2014. I'm just going to go right down. 32nd, 22nd, 20th, 20th, 32, 24, 30th, 26, 23rd. Come on, man. That's a BS. That's a BS move.
By that. Poor, but you got to keep scoring.
Well,
you got to keep scoring. I mean, that's how it is when you got a weak defense. You got to keep scoring. Like I remember at some point, like this year, and I'm talking high school ball, but our defense was giving up, and we saw it during practice in the week. Like shit, they can't stop the run this week. So I told the quarterback and the wide receivers and the running backs in the line, I'm like, hey man, defense gonna struggle this week. What you got to do?
Yeah,
score points. When they score, you score.
Fair enough.
And when we get that stop, you score, and you keep scoring, and that's how we win the game. So the defense played bad, but you got to be able to have a strong offensive outfit to be able to keep up in a game where where you got a struggling defense.
Yeah, no, those are fair points. JJ Watt announced his retirement. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, man. He was a dominant player. He had that run, but people will probably also look at him and say, here's an all-time great, but never had an opportunity to play for a Super Bowl. And really think about it, playoff appearances all those years with the Texans. And now with the Cardinals.
Well, how many he got with him? Man, hold on now.
What?
He said all those playoff appearances with the Texans. It wasn't.
No. I said he didn't. See?
Oh, didn't. No,
see right away, Mr. Sippy Cup. Okay. See what I'm saying there? Yeah, exactly. 27 for 27. I see it. I'm counting the over and under. That's 27 sips. You're starting to hear stuff. So, and then the other story, and I know you're going to have a take on this, an opinion on this. So we saw Tua get drilled again the other day in that game against Green Bay. Concussion protocol, second time this season, day to day, might be out versus New England. Teddy Two Gloves is in line to start. And basically, this is the third time he's been, quote unquote, concussed, if you will. Suffered it in September against the Bills, came back the following week against Cincinnati, where you said he should sit, he shouldn't be playing. And then he got drilled in that Green Bay game. Prior to the hit, he threw for about 240 something odd yards. After the hit, and we don't want to speculate, but enough proof is there, he threw 3 just inexplicable interceptions. So I'm hearing all the talking heads on TV roast this kid, and basically coming out saying, at this moment, he is a liability. There's no way a team should be able to give him a contract extension because of these injuries. Any team.
Yeah, but look how dynamic he is when he plays, though.
But is he a liability? Like, or is he just unlucky?
I think he's a liability. I don't think he's a liability. I mean, certain plays, certain things. That's what makes football, baby. There's a bunch of adversity when it comes to football. Bunch of adversity. You either got to stand up and walk through the door and walk through and get through the smoke and be there whenever it clears, or you go in the tank.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, I don't think Tua is done. I thought Tua was a lot. I thought he was a lot of the reason for a lot of the Dolphins' success this season. Putting up big time numbers. I don't think he's done.
Well, we were talking.
I don't think he's a liability at all.
Yeah, we were talking like he's the MVP earlier on the season with the
early in the season because he was playing.
He was
playing like he was up there talking. Shit, there was something like MVP with him and Josh Allen.
Yep.
I mean, I'm talking about this. This is week 4, week 5.
You're 100%
something of that nature.
He
suffered a big hit.
Yeah.
Came back after a few weeks and hit the ground running again.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a liability, man. Again, you just got to fix some things around, and they run the ball pretty well. He got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill over there who can stretch the field.
Yeah.
The running back, I mean, they got a pretty good running game. I mean, he got everything you need, but I guess, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. It doesn't go your way.
But how do you save the player from himself? So for instance, what's his name? And the head coach's name is escaping me. I want to say McDaniel came out and said, McDaniels came out and said, I'm sorry, give me a second. But anyway, the coach came out today and basically said, day to day, and we're going to do what's, best. Like he's a human being at the end of the day. So I hear all that, I gloss through it, and then I say to myself, then you know what? If that's the case, if you're so invested in this kid's well-being as a human being, as a man, not a player, first and foremost, then you have to ultimately shut him down for the season. You have to, and it is McDaniel. I was getting him confused with McDaniel with the Raiders. So if you don't, to me, what the head coach said is a crock of shit, and he really has no interest in protecting the player. And,
right.
Right? I mean, am I off base on that?
I mean, Rich, how do you protect the player?
But 3 concussions, like two in a week plus span, and then he got drilled again. And I can't even say if it's his style of play because he just got sacked and landed awkwardly, head smashed on the ground. So that's where I'm looking at it. And I'm like, okay, this is why the NFLPA is starting to investigate a third head injury. So you got 2 games left. They're still right there for the playoff. But at what point do you say, playoff be damned, we have to worry about this kid's welfare? That's my question.
Who's these doctors that keep releasing the guy? Who's the doctors that keep doing it? They work for the team. Then they go listen to the doctors. This was going to happen.
Don't they have independent? That's when the NFL.
Guys don't take the time to go out and get a second opinion on nothing, man. They want to play. They want to play and they want to be paid. They don't have no time to go out and try to find another doctor while the time is ticking away. The next thing you know, it's fucking Thursday, and now you got an appointment Friday morning with the doctor, your second opinion to see what he thinks, and now you done miss Friday's walkthrough and possibly the flight to the game.
Yeah.
It's just they go with the first mind because it's more convenient. They go with the first read because it's more convenient, and they're supposed to feel like they can trust these doctors, which you really can't.
Yeah, that's why Mike White was trying to get all these third, fourth opinions to try to suit back up for the Jets, which he will. The NFL changed their concussion protocol to mandate that any player who shows possible concussion symptoms, including a lack of balance or stability, sit out the remainder of the game. So once again, he took another hit. The Bills game, then 4 days later, the Cincinnati game, he showed the symptoms, and then he took the hit the other day. And then if you watched his play, I feel bad, man, because I think he's a good kid. I think he's a talented kid. And how do you tell someone, hey, give it up, your career is done? I mean, I would say shut him down for the rest of the season. And then maybe in the off season, he thinks about it and he discusses it with the franchise and, more importantly, his family first and foremost, to figure out what to do. I don't think it's fair to call him a liability because he's taken some hits. And
I don't think it's fair to call it a liability. The team is going to have to be the one to shut it down. The team is the only one who has the ability to pay him. So if the team feel like he can still go and still be productive for them, concussions or not, they're going to continue to go and pay him and play him, right? But if they have to sit down with him and his parents and whoever else you need in the room, hey, we're worried about your well-being. We're worried about your health. We are worried about, CTE and brain issues with you. I think your time here, the Miami Dolphins, is done. And this is why we're done. You have put up some great numbers for us. You've done the best you can do, but somehow you keep getting hurt, keep on going under concussion protocol. It kind of scares us, and we're going to go in a different direction. And that's all it takes. But they're not going to do that because who else are they going to put in? What else are they going to do?
So when you played, and you always told me everyone plays hurt, right? And I know there's a difference. Concussion, maybe like, say, a little twisted ankle. Knee is something different, right? Was there ever a time, and you don't have to name anyone, you and or any of your teammates, where they really fought hard to play, and that they just kept lobbying for it, and maybe to a man, maybe some of you guys took a step back and they're like, yeah, he really shouldn't be out there, but they lobbied for it?
Kevin Boss, man, I could name names. Like Kevin Boss got a couple concussions, and he was out there next week. He might have missed 1 or 2 games, but he was out there. He played. He didn't leave. He left everything on the field, and they ended his career early. Kevin Boss could have been a great tight end in the NFL.
Very good tight end. Yep.
Very good tight end as a young buck, as a young boy coming in, doing everything he's done and blocking, and was great in the passing game for us. And we got concussions, and he just wanted to go on with this second part of his life, and he just gave it up.
Wow.
There's guys that got in, man, and like myself, I remember playing against the Jets. I ran into Bart Scott. Got my bell rung a little bit. Nice, nice little contact, 4 or 5 yard game. Got my ass up wobbly and got back in the huddle. See, by the time Eli snapped the ball for the next play, I was right back in the mode where I needed to be. But I had a concussion. I staggered my way I got up off the ground, I staggered my way all the way back to the huddle. And no one pulled me out of the game. No one really cared about me having a concussion. No one was really looking at it like that, But Kevin Boss was a guy that strived to play every week. Yeah, I just had a concussion. I just got killed by Kansas City the week before coming across the middle. Got decapitated. And yeah, I got a concussion, but the doctor said I can play. I'm released. And then he goes out, play 2 or 3 weeks and get another one. Here he's released again, get another one. And he's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Wow. He was part of that 2007 class, right? Ahmad.
Yeah.
Boss.
He was a beast. He was an absolute fucking beast for us, man. Like Kevin Boss was was going to go. He's going to go down as one of the most underrated players in Giants history. He meant so much to our team that he was on, man. Be able to do so much in the passing game and running game, his ability to block. He was great.
Yeah, because I remember I think didn't did he go to the Raiders or maybe Arizona? But his career was
I think he may have went to the Raiders and just was done.
Yeah.
And you were right by the Super Bowl at MetLife too with Seattle and the Broncos. So you were right.
You were checking while we were talking?
Huh?
You were checking while we were talking?
I mean, I just thought about it. That's all. I mean,
no, that's not it. It's no, don't pull that shit with me. It's this. That's funny, man. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out because, like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, it is all about money, and you got to be very, very careful, right, before you're throwing that kind of money. And to your point with Murray, that doesn't shock me, man. That doesn't shock me at all.
I was shocked to hear it too, man. From
really?
a couple guys I talked to.
No, you see the way he barks on the sideline.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, really? They were like, yeah, he's an asshole. I'm like, really? I don't get that. I don't see that. Yeah, he's better than life. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah, so I like how it's set up this weekend, right? If you're a Giants fan, I think you go out there, you run the ball. I wanted to ask you this. So I pulled up some numbers and you tell me right now. So if I were to tell you, who do you think has the most rushing attempts this season in the NFL? You would say
rushing attempts? Derrick Henry.
Josh Jacobs is second. Looks like he's talking himself out of Vegas. Saquon has 283 carries.
That's what we got to do to win,
man. Right now, top 5 backs. You go Cook, Henry, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, Chubb. Sanders is a good back for Philly.
No, I go Chubb first.
Nick Chubb.
Oh, you just give me naming guys. I mean, yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry, Saquon, Chubb, Christian McCaffrey. Man, I really like Connor in Arizona, man.
Yeah, you said that before.
I do, man. I think he's a good ass running back, man. Just really underrated. I put him in my top 5.
They
Cook, yeah.
Cook is a beast.
Yes, he's a monster.
He's tough. I mean,
running. He reminds me of a better Arian Foster. Arian Foster, he was real slick through there. Got, had some wiggle with him. Was tough. Yeah, he's surpassed anything I would have for him this year.
He's got that. Who is that back? And I think he passed away, but he played for the Bears. He was a pretty big back, man. He reminds me, Cook when he runs kind of reminds me. Was it Cedric Benson?
Oh, Ced was a monster. That was my draft class. Ced was a monster from Texas.
Yeah.
Number 4 overall, I think he got drafted. 3 backs in 2005 were taking 3 of the top 5 picks.
3 backs.
Ronnie Brown went number 2. Cedric Benson went 4, and Cadillac Williams went 5.
What draft was that?
2005.
2000. Wow.
Yes. Turn around and you have, I think Frank Gore maybe second or third. J.J. Arrington went out to Arizona in the second or third. A lot of backs were taken back, early, but of course they left Your Highness out and took me in the 4th round, but I take it. I got 2 Super Bowls too.
Yeah, Your Highness. Oh yeah, that was Alex Smith was the first.
I remember they were going in between him and Aaron Rodgers. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be first? Who's going to be first? They took Alex. San Fran took Alex, and Aaron ended up sitting in there till 31 or 32 to Green Bay.
Yeah, late in round 1. Yeah,
Green Bay had just won. Then they just didn't they win the Super Bowl the year before that?
2000,
Seattle did. I mean,
2004.
not Seattle, Pittsburgh.
That was the Heinz Ward, Ben Roethlisberger,
Yeah.
right? I think it was 2000 and 2003, 2004. And then Patriots, Patriots 4 because they beat the Eagles. 5, 6 was Indianapolis, 7 with you guys, 8 was Pittsburgh. Yeah. And then I forget 9, and then 10 was Green Bay, and then you guys in 11 because you beat the Packers on the road and they were 15-1. Did you see the passing of Franco Harris?
I did. You know, I just learned a lot of history on him after he died.
He's a South Jersey guy. He was born in Dix.
I mean, he was at odds with the Steelers for like 3 years. I mean, at odds with the Steelers, like, y'all don't want to pay me, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And he did that year in, year out. And then he finally left. I didn't know it was that bad.
So
I guess he won $500 versus, 300 he was getting back then.
I think I have it. Their draft class. Listen to this. Just talk about building a dynasty, right? So the Steelers draft Bradshaw, right? And then 71, they go 6-8. 72, they won 11-3. 73, they won 10-4. They lost to the Raiders. Everyone lost to the Miami Dolphins in 72. Okay. Their draft class in 1972. This is unheard of. They drafted Franco Harris with the 13th pick. Then they drafted, 1974, pardon me, 1974. They drafted Lynn Swann out of USC. They drafted Jack Lambert in the 2nd round. They drafted John Stallworth in the 4th round. They drafted Mike Webster in the 5th round. And then an unrestricted or a free agent at the time was Donnie Shell. 5 Hall of Famers. That you're never going to see anything like that. Even, when the Cowboys were drafting or the 49ers dynasty or the Patriots, that's unheard of back then.
Yeah. That man, that whoever that GM, he got lucky. He put some good shit together. He put some good shit together. And I got him some wins.
Yeah, that's
probably one of the best total draft class.
It has to be.
I mean, in the history of the league, out of any GM, I mean, you think about the names you mentioned, like the greatness in all of those guys, man, like paved the way for a lot of guys to be able to do what we do. You know what I mean? So I mean that GM, man, that's lucky, but he got it done.
And I said that play, the Immaculate Reception, right? It changes the course of NFL history to some extent, even though Pittsburgh didn't win it that year. But then I look at Dwight Clark in Montana to catch in 81. You can go to the slant game, Alvin Harper back in the day, Dallas and the 49ers, and then you can, if you start talking Super Bowl and changing the course of history, you can go to Tyree's catch. I mean, there are certain plays, right, where you can't tell the history of the NFL without those plays, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of plays. I mean, I gotta put Mario's catch up there, man.
Oh, again, I'm biased. I think that is the greatest throw in Super Bowl history. I don't know how. Roethlisberger was an unbelievable throw. Eli, again, just had to put that ball
in the right place for Mario to do his thing with it.
He made it a sick
here, over the top, catch, feet in right behind each other. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
You guys had some weapons 2011, man.
We did. We had Akeem, who was lighting it up all over the field.
He couldn't stay healthy.
Killing Victor Cruz. Like, we had some dogs, man.
Nick's to me could have had a 10-year career, man. But he had the bad wheels. He couldn't stay healthy. But he was a beast in that game against Atlanta. He was a beast. Oh, yeah. And I still think one of the most underrated plays that no one talks about was in Green Bay, right before the half, Ahmad's
That Hail
presence of
Mary.
mind, where he cuts it back and he gets
Oh, that one. Yeah, that
yeah,
was a good one. It takes it like 60 yards. Some of that. If you think about this, okay, Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different sets of wide receivers
yes,
in a 4-year difference, right? It was Plexico Burrs,
Amani.
Amani Toomer, Dominic Hickson, who came on for, who was in and out for Plex. Then we come back to, of course, David Tyree, who played a good bit. When you come back the second time, you got Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks, Mario Manningham, and guys out there making plays. 2 different sets of wide receivers.
Yeah.
That he won the Super Bowl with.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not going to tell me 10 doesn't deserve to have his name called on the Hall of Fame day, you got to be out your fucking mind. Whoever really fucking feels like that.
They look
what
at
I mean? The man is a Hall of Famer, man.
Listen, you're not gonna get an argument from me, but what they look at is they fail to look at how bad those teams were late in his career. It makes his win-loss record. If you're talking about, let's just say the defense blew 12 games over a 3-year stretch for Eli. Now, all of a sudden, you take those 12, and he's not, 117. He's 130 and, 105. Now he's 20-something odd games. But if you look at the playoff stats alone and the run and the longevity and the clutchness in his gene, yeah. How many quarterbacks have gone on the road in Green Bay and won? It's hard to do, man. He did it twice, and he could have won a third time in 2016, but everyone decided to drop the football. So, yeah. No, listen, it's not an argument.
Really dropped it. They really dropped it. Well, wasn't that in 14?
No, it was 16. That was a friggin' boat trip. That was Beckham, Shepard, Cruz. Right before the
ain't got the nerve to want to go on Green Bay Field with his shirts off after coming from Miami on a damn yacht. If you don't put some clothes on your little skinny ass, you're gonna get sick. Put some damn clothes on, man.
Oh man. Yeah, they were making fun of Seattle players for being shirtless, but they still had their gloves on.
They still had their gloves on because that's how they catch the ball. But I tell you what, though, man, shit, Seattle boys were put together pretty good out there. They were put together. They were like, shit, yeah, like
that dude looks like he's
chiseled
in the weight
room.
Yeah, they're definitely pumping. So yeah, he's
yeah. Joseph was put together pretty good.
Oh man, that's too funny. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how everything kind of plays out. Hey, what do you think about the college games, real quick? I know we got a couple minutes with the big the playoffs. Any thoughts on that?
I got upset Saturday night.
You do?
I do.
Is it the Ciroc talking or?
No, it's not the Ciroc talking. It's Brandon Christopher Jacobs from Napoleonville, Louisiana. 319.
He went middle name.
Huh?
BCJ. He went middle name for us.
Yeah, Brandon Christopher Jacobs.
That is the truth serum.
He says what? No, it's not. So I think Georgia falls to Ohio State.
You said what?
Georgia falls to Ohio State.
No way. No. Georgia's the best team in the country. You know what? No, we know.
I'm not doubting that. They may be. But that's going to be the wrong game to lose.
No. I'm taking the C out of your middle name. It's not Christopher. It's Ciroc. That's the truth.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, Georgia Ohio State over Georgia.
Yeah, I don't.
And TCU beats Michigan.
I would love to see that because I can't stand Michigan. They're a 7.5-point favorite, but I think Georgia runs Ohio State out of the building. I'm going to say, I'll tell you the score right now. I'm going to say 35-20.
You got to be shitting me. You got to be pissing on me telling me it's raining, and I believe you. There's no way. Give
me a score. I'll write it down. I'll put it in mark.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be like 21-27, something of that nature.
And you like
Ohio State wins.
All right. Giants, give me a score on Sunday.
I'm gonna go with the Giants. I'm gonna go to Giants. I'm gonna go 27-13.
27 points they're going to score.
You don't think they can score 27 fucking points?
What? Have they done it all season long? I mean,
no, but I think they can score 20. I think they can score 27 points. Maybe some of them
I would love
coaches like they
I
got
would,
a bunch of guys running around the field with no legs, man. If we can't score 27 on that, then there's a problem.
Ciroc.
It might be the Ciroc.
Well, with that being said, all right, I'm gonna go 24-16 Giants. I'm gonna get Saquon goes for a buck.
We're talking about 3 points different. That's a field goal.
Hey, it's late touchdown, man. Saquon goes for a $125, and the defense picks off Foles a couple times, and there we have it. Punch the ticket.
Foles scared me, by the way.
Thank you. I agree 100%. And everyone's like, you're friggin' being paranoid. I know he looked horrible, but I've watched too much of this guy. And you know, with the Eagles and the Giants, how the games get goofy. My point is exactly, I don't need this shit to be 13-10 and me blowing up your phone. And then all of a sudden the friggin' Big Bear is taking a nap because he was smoking and joking and you got to wake back up for the fourth quarter. I will need you from kickoff to the very end.
I'm with you, baby. Let's go, blow.
You don't need to go get your helmet.
Yeah, I don't need it's right. It's right there. I get the helmet.
No, you're good. All right, brother. Say what you got to say.
Hey, everybody. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody have a Happy New Year's. The number one thing in life, underclass, middle class, upper class, it is free to have good humanities and help people around you. All right? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Please and fucking thank you. Okay? Happy holidays, everybody. Have a great opening of 2023. Stay out of harm's way.
Yes.
You guys have a good one.
All right, brother. Always appreciate you, man. Have a good new year. That is the newest spokesperson for Ciroc, number 27. Brandon Jacobs, two-time Super Bowl champ. I'm Rich Quinones. As always, we appreciate everyone, guys, keeping us locked in 27 and Q. Keep the views coming. Check out the channel, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, my friend. We will talk again in 2023, but I'm sure you'll hear a couple beeps on Sunday. I'll probably wake the bear as he's sleeping.
And we might be able to go on and do a show on Sunday, man. Might as well, right? I might be able to bring my computer and my light up to TV, and we might have to talk about it on, while the game's going on.
We can do that. We can do that.
I don't mind doing that. I don't know how Zoom's gonna work that out, but hey.
We got to look like that. That's all. We'll figure it out. All right, B. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good night.
Yes, man. Sir. Thank you, brother.
Be good.